Hello. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to file in, get the notification on the live. I'm just getting ready to get things kicked off and launched here. And this is a live, okay? This is not a pre-recorded. I'm going to be doing these over the next 40 days, Tuesdays through Saturdays. I'll be going live daily to bring something in to guide this experience. So I'm also going to be doing some readings for the collective who will be going through this experience with me. We're looking at the Aries point, that point when we truly do hit the reset button and we have the start of a brand new cycle moving forward. And it's all getting launched today with this Aries new moon, which I'm really enjoying the energy building. It's interesting. I woke up this morning and I almost had like this kind of like antsy, like horse at the starting gate kind of energy building, which was really kind of cool. And I have some surprises in store for you all that I'm looking forward to bringing in with this. So, what is this exactly? I'll kind of give you a little overview so you know what to expect. This is kind of along the format of the 40-day Panchakarma that I did last year. Only we're branching out a little bit more. We're not going to be confined to just the realm of Ayurveda, although I definitely will be bringing Ayurveda into the mix with this. And just to let you know a little background on me, what I do, what I'm about. I have over 29 years experience in the holistic health field as an Ayurvedic practitioner, a transformational body worker, also an intuitive eating counselor listed on the national directory. I was trained by Evelyn Triboli and Elise Resch, who wrote the groundbreaking book, Intuitive Eating. And I bring all these aspects as well as my metaphysical work into the work that I do and what I'll be bringing in here at BroadCoven. I didn't want to be limited in my expression at BroadCoven. I didn't want it to be just a tarot channel. I'm a multifaceted person, as we all are. And so I wanted to bring in a little something for everybody, a little bit of everything at random. And this is to help us get launched into this new cycle that's getting kicked off today with the Aries new moon. Happy spring. We just had the vernal equinox in the Northern Hemisphere yesterday. And already it's like spring has sprung. I'm really seeing like everything come back to life. The sun has been out. It's got that feel. I love this time of year, the new energy and just all the vibrancy that comes in. It's sort of like makes us feel like we're coming back to life again, right? And we got a lot of cobwebs to clear out, a lot of dust to shake off after what we've been going through over these past few years, right? So it's just a buildup of this energy and that Scorpio South node that we're all traveling through. It can be a little bit sludgy at times. I think we're all ready to kind of clear out that heaviness. And this is where it all begins. This Aries new moon is really the jump off point. We got a lot of loaded astrology this week. And so I'm excited to talk to all of you about that. And please, if you do make the live, feel free to bring your voice in. This is going to be an opportunity for you to ask any questions you have, share your thoughts, share your experiences. I just want it to be kind of like a daily drop in for all of us so we can connect with each other and focus on moving into this new cycle in a really empowered way. So, what we're doing with this 40-day journey is a cleanse of our energy, our bodies. We're going to be working a lot with all different kinds of techniques for clearing mental space, clearing the clutter in our lives, clearing that clutter emotionally, doing the spring cleaning on all levels, mind, body, and spirit. I do have a physical cleanse, a body cleanse for rejuvenating the health that I'll be bringing in. And we'll talk about that more as time goes on, but this is sort of the initial jump off point today with this Aries new moon. So we're going to be looking at just getting familiar this week. Okay, we're not going to take things too crazy or at too fast of a pace. We're going to ease ourselves into this transition because we've all collectively already had a lot on our plate. So this is about moving into this sort of waking up, to the new energy, much like nature does. It doesn't just all of a sudden blast full force, into spring. There's this gentle awakening process, and we're going to shake off that energy from the wintertime and the stiller months and get prepared to move into this more active cycle. And it's extremely active, okay? We have a lot going on. We have the Aries new moon today, of course. I'm sure a lot of Aries are feeling this energy. And to all of the Aries out there, blessed solar return to you. You'll be front in line. You're already front in line, right? You start the whole process of the journey through the zodiac. You are the first out the gate. So you're bringing in that initiatory energy. Really dig that. You're very much front and center during this astrology, Aries, especially as we lead up to the changing of the guards of the nodes of destiny. So Taurus is going to backslide into Aries come July, and you'll be taking over that North Node position. So we're all journeying toward that. Like, how can we really step into that power in our lives as the magician, as represented by Aries, to take the initiative, strike out, be bold, change our lives, activate that transformation, do that thing that we've been holding off doing. And that's what we're going to get really clear with as we move through this week. So I'm going to take a little sip here. I have a little old congestion. I think a lot of people are feeling that, especially with the pollen getting activated, but I also have a little bit of holdover congestion in my lungs from a bout of bronchitis. So I'm definitely ready for this. I'm ready to hit the physical cleansing parts of this process. But we're really going to be doing this on all levels, mind, body, and spirit. I see somebody's here. Welcome. This is live. Okay, this is not pre-recorded. We're going to be doing these lives to guide through the process. Tuesdays through Saturdays over the next 40 days, all right, to help everybody get launched into this new cycle and get prepared to catapult from that south node of Scorpio up into the north node of Taurus, so that when we have the changing of the guards on in July and we have Taurus north node go into Aries, we're all ready to really step into our empowerment and be bold in how we move forward. And it's all beginning right now. We have the Aries new moon today, of course. And then we also have 2 more meetups of the Venus-Jupiter conjunction. That'll be coming in on the 22nd and also the 28th. And sandwiched in the middle of that, we have we have Pluto going into Aquarius. So it's really action-packed astrology. If you want to know more about what's on deck for that, I really encourage you to check out the live I did with Cal Garrison. Cal Garrison has over 50 years experience in the astrology game, is a master of her craft, and she gave a lot of insight into what we can expect and also reasons why we should feel hopeful. So what we're looking at today is just sort of an introduction to the energy. I also will be doing like a daily read for the collective that tunes into this. Hi, Amanda. It's good to see you. Thank you for dropping in on the live. I'm excited to get this started. Really looking forward to this. This is going to be, as far as the physical cleansing that we've done, and we know when it comes to Ayurveda, it's all mind, body, spirit. So there's no real separation there. But as far as the physical cleansing, we will be sticking with kind of an Ayurvedic approach for that, but we're bringing some other things in the mix this time around. So we're expanding this concept of Panchakarma. We're doing a complete road opener here. We're going to get through our obstacles, whether those obstacles are within or without. We're going to activate our visions and step forward into our purpose. And, bring in a lot of supportive tools and also readings to guide the way. It should be a good experience. And I'm on this journey with all of you. So I have no idea what to expect. All right. We're just going to flow with it. I'm going to drop in every day. I'm not sure what time. I think most days I would like to drop in around this time, just to give people a general idea. But, according to my schedule and what I have going on with clients, things can change. And, I might need to do different timing on certain days, but you can count on me to show up Tuesday through Saturday with live, all right? And yeah, looking forward to it. Bottom of the deck energy here, we have the High Priestess in reverse. And so I think this is kind of the thing that we need to focus on this week. I'm going to go ahead and turn that whole deck upright, all right? We need to get this energy in the upright. So this tells me quite a few things. And with the High Priestess being in reverse like that, we're at a place collectively where we've been kind of focusing on the shadow for a long time. We have to remember that the High Priestess is the balancing point between the shadow and light. And it's very interesting because we just had that point right yesterday with the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. So it's time to start putting our focus more on lightening up, lightening our load, clearing our energy. And this is very in alignment with the seasonal flow. I mean, when we look at any kind of cleansing process, what we're doing is we're clearing out the heaviness left over from the old cycle. So we can have a clean slate to move forward. And this helps us not only physically and to have, our ultimate state of vitality, but it also gives us an opportunity to really channel our vision and have very clear manifestations. So it's all interconnected. It's all interconnected, and you're finding blockages in your life, things not going the way you want them to go, whether that's in finances, in relationships, in living situations, you name it. You can always come back to the body and look at, well, what is the state of my body? What is the state of my vitality? Because if we don't have the energy we need, we can't really actively affect change in our lives in positive ways. And we're kind of working with muddled energy. So what we're really doing with this process over these next 40 days is becoming clear conduits for the energy we're being called to run. Like, what are we being asked to bring into this new cycle? What do we want to create for ourselves? What do we want our lives to look like? Behind this, yeah, we want to do some growth here over these next 40 days. And this is the perfect time to start with making a change in our lives with the new moon energy, especially with it being in Aries and Aries playing such a starring role. So I'm really excited to work with this energy. Already woke up feeling a little bit energized. This is what's going to bring us a real sense of completion of the old cycle so we can successfully move into the new cycle with that world energy. Ted's in affirmation with that, all right? But what we're really looking at this week is a systems check, okay? Because we got this Seven of Swords with the Fool right after it, all right? So we know that we got some sabotaging habits, we got some sabotaging behaviors, we have some things we focus our energy on that distract us from the work that we need to do so we can really step forward in our lives in empowering ways, create those lives we want to be living instead of just keeping them as dreams in our head, right? And we got to clear this stuff out if we really want to embrace this Fool energy and jump into this new cycle. And I love it because what do we have coming up very soon here? We have April Fools, right? So we're kind of like right in alignment with this energy. We got this closing out energy this week coming in. And then as we head into next week, we'll be moving closer to that point of the Fool with the April Fools and beginning a new cycle. So this week, we're really going to focus on kind of doing something that may seem a little counterintuitive, but we're going to kind of, instead of springing our energy out there right out the gate, what we're going to do is we're going to sort of turn the energy inward in a reflective sense so we can notice the ways that we are sabotaging ourselves. We're going to shine a light in some of those dusty corners, the areas where we don't normally look, so we can really see what's getting in our way, what's blocking our way forward. And if you are encountering a lot of blockages in your day-to-day life, whether you're having trouble just generating financial stability, or you're struggling with finding, a place to live where you really feel at home. If you feel like your creativity is blocked, or you're not connecting with people on a level you want to be connecting with, or maybe you just feel like you've outgrown, your old life, you're feeling like you're ready to expand into exploration, and really feeling out what is right for you. There's this need for us to kind of look at what's getting in the way of us feeling that sense of fulfillment, that sense of happiness, a sense of purpose in our lives. And we always got to begin that work by kind of looking within. And this is what will guarantee us success moving into the new cycle, and really shedding off that old energy of that Scorpio, South Node, before it changes into Libra, that balancing point. And we're beginning by finding that balance within ourselves with the temperance. Okay. So this is sort of that liminal space in between. And the goal is that we get to this place where we're really thriving, right? We have abundance, we feel happy, we feel fulfilled, we feel like we're in our element, like we're living our lives on purpose. And we're really going to dive into that this week. I just want to see what's on the top of deck energy here. I mean, we got that big Taurus North Node energy coming in with the Queen of Pentacles. So it all begins with us. This is very much about holding our peace, showing up for ourselves, and how that has a spillover effect in how we show up in the world. Yeah, and I love it. Look what comes next. We got the arrival of the Emperor. Okay, that Aries is going to take over that Taurus North Node in July. Okay, and we got Aries kicking off this cycle. So we got to think of the Aries archetype. I mean, Aries is all about taking the initiative. You know, Aries doesn't rest on their laurels. Aries is willing to be a bit daring. They're the ones who kick everything off. You got to be a little bit bold to be an Aries. You're the one who takes the first risk and gets the momentum moving for the whole wheel. All right. So I feel like we're at the brand new start of the cycle, and when we have those North Node of Destiny goes into Aries in July, it's going to be at the Aries Point, which is really significant. It means we have a real opportunity to make our visions reality. So this is a point of heightened creativity, and we're just going to get the pot stirred, So I wanted to drop in and talk about what this first week is about. So you can kind of start to move forward with this in your own way. I do want to make this very clear that though I am going to be holding this space for this experience and providing some guidance and sharing different things that you can work with to facilitate this process, this is your journey. So it's really important with that high priestess energy that came in reverse on the bottom of the deck there as sort of the basis of the matter, that you really get in touch with yourself. And we had two cards that very much speak of the internal process, with the hermit energy there and the high priestess, and we know that it's out of balance. With temperance on the scene, we need to find some balance between our day-to-day mundane life, is symbolized by that temperance energy that has the 1 foot on dry land and 1 foot in the water, right? It's about being able to be in both those places where, yes, we look at the practical, we look at, the sort of daily structure of our lives, the nuts and bolts, but we also don't lose the piece about staying connected to our emotions and being able to flow with our intuition, being in touch with our intuition and where we're energetically being pulled. And at this time, I think what's really important for so many people is to bring their energy back to center. There's been a lot of distraction. There's been a lot of intensity in the atmosphere with everything we've been moving through astrologically. And so you can kind of pick up some hitchhiker energy. And if you are not aware of energy body maintenance and focusing on that, then there can be a lot of issues as far as just being able to really get clear on, well, what is my own internal radar telling me about where I need to go, who I need to be connecting with, what's right for me. So this is about you coming back into center, back into yourself, and finding that place of balance. And I love how that temperance came in, because we also have, this is a card representing Sagittarius archetype, and Sagittarius is front and center with this Venus Jupiter conjunction we have going on with the two we have coming up this week, which is so potent, right? So we need to find that balancing point so we can really move into the expansion and the blessing that's on offer in a way where we can reap the full benefits of this harmonious aspect we got going on here. This is very significant because we have to remember that with all the planetary influences, there is a shadow aspect, just like everything in nature, right? It's a balance of shadow and light. So when we're looking at this Venus Jupiter conjunction, it's like, yes, Venus is all about love and beauty and harmony. We love that, right? But there's also the shadow side of Venus, which is war, right? And then when we're looking at Jupiter, of course, we have the blessing energy and, all the goodies that can come in, those, unexpected opportunities for us to step into a greater potential of success. And that's wonderful. But on the shadow side, Jupiter can be about overindulgence. All right. So it's very common for people to be in a space of self gratification to excess when they're in Jupiter shadow, which could look like an expanding waistline, could look like, um, partying a little bit too hard, could look like um, also being a little bit too full of oneself, not staying rooted, not staying grounded. Remember this piece. It's like being able to, straddle that divide, have, you know, stay grounded as you open up to your expansion, Hello, Queen Bee. Good to see you. This is important. We have to maintain this state of balance. And I love that this balance is coming in here. It's like, yes, let's start working with this balance right now, right? Because the nodes changing is very significant for this new cycle kicking off. When we have that south node go from Scorpio into Libra, it's all about balance, right? It's all about the karmic balance. So what we really need to do to hit that Aries point of activation, when we can bring our manifestations into reality with such ease, if we're in that space where we can be clear and direct our energy in an empowered way, we really need to start doing this balancing work now. And it begins within ourselves. So over the next 40 days, we're going to be working on clearing out the energy from the old cycle so we can get ready to step into the new. We're going to do that mind, body, spirit. As far as the physical cleansing aspect, I am going to be opening up for free to the public, no strings attached, my Kapha reset course that I have on Cobra's Medicine Bag. It's an Ayurvedic course. I'm very proud of it. It leads you step by step through everything that you need to do to cleanse your body in the Ayurvedic way. It's a very solid, well lined up course that gives you everything you need to be empowered in taking charge of your own health. I do want to put out there that it's important that you consult your physician, okay? Anytime you're taking up something new, make sure that anything that is outlined is in alignment with your medical protocols that you may be on, any medications you may be taking, anything along these lines. All right, I'm sharing the information. I am an Ayurvedic practitioner. I've been through my training. I've been doing this work for a long time, but you always have to default to your own medical provider and who you're working with, because I'm merely sharing the information. It's up to you to follow through with a medical professional and make sure that it's a fit for you, some of the recommendations, because some of the recommendations might not, and I cover that pretty extensively in the course too. I'll be opening up that probably at the end of the week for you all. Okay. And so that's just got so much information there for you. And there's also a forum that is attached to that course. So you all can build community there too if you want, and ask each other questions, all that. Yes, it's something I just really feel like I want to bring forward. And it's my goal to make my Ayurvedic courses on Cobra's medicine bag free to the public. I'm at a point now where I'm really moving forward into this work that I'm doing. And here at BroadCoven, and everything new that I'm developing and that I want to bring in. And so I want to work with Ayurveda on a level of it being a seva at this point. I'm no longer doing Ayurvedic consultations or anything along those lines, but it's something I want to just offer here. I decided through BroadCoven, when it comes to the changing of the seasons, I'll always offer something like this to the community. And eventually all of those courses, as we hit each season, will be open for you. It's in my Dosha Discovery series. Okay. So I have the Vata course, I have the Pitta course, and the Kapha course. All right. So Kapha will be opening up. It'll be opening up sometime before the weekend. I'm not sure what day yet. Okay. Because I have to do some things. I have to go in the back end. I have to tweak some things around and make sure it's set up as a clean template for people coming in, because I already have people who traveled through that course with me. So privacy's sake, things along these lines, I want it to be restructured a little bit. So everybody who went through that privately has their stuff that they brought in preserved, and it's now a community experience. So that's my gift from me to you. There's no strings attached. I'm not selling anything, nothing. Nothing along those lines. All right. So that is what will be the guiding point for the cleanse. The cleanse is very much in alignment with the season. It involves all sorts of things. Oh, you're welcome. I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to extend this, because Ayurveda was such an important part of my own healing process. I healed myself with Ayurveda, and this is the thing that's really pivotal for me, and that has always been a key point for me with Ayurveda. Is I feel like our medical system by and large has really failed us in the United States. And there's so many people who don't have access to the health care they need. And yet, really, when it comes to healthcare, the thing that is most important is prevention, you know? And there's so much that you can do to prevent yourself from ever going into those states. And it's not just about what's going on physically, it's about what's going on mentally, what's going on emotionally. And you have more power than you think to affect positive change in your life on all levels. And there's also a lot of natural methods, very accessible methods, that don't cost an arm and a leg, that people can access through Ayurveda and really bring a lot of healing to themselves. So I just feel at this point in my life, and with the new direction I'm heading in here at BroadCoven and moving away from my work as an Ayurvedic practitioner, all of that stuff that I put together, I really feel like I want to bring it forward just as an offering, so other people can feel empowered and take charge of their lives, of their own transformation, of their own health, because the more that all of us do this, the more free we get, right? And that's a beautiful thing. So we're starting off with, just the basics this week. This week is about dropping in, all right? And I'm showing up today, all right? I'm showing up today with, fresh face, no makeup on. I'm doing that for a reason. I encourage you to take a picture of yourself today. Go out in natural light, no makeup, no filters, just you as you are. This is very helpful because I want you to see how different you are going to look in 40 days. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about physically. I'm talking about the Ayurvedic concept of beauty, which is when you have such a clarity and radiance in your soul that it just it shines from within without. It comes through your physical appearance. It's in the sparkle of your eyes. It's in the brightness of your smile. So there's this piece about I really want you to see the transformation and recognize how much power you have to affect change in your life. I think it's such a key with this. So this is me, and this is my starting point. I also want you to pay attention to your tongue. This is significant, and you can look at your tongue every day to let you know how things are going. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick out my tongue here for you all. You see that white coating I got on my tongue? That's called ama. So that's mucus in the digestive tract. It's really common at this time of year, okay, because we're moving out of the heaviness of winter. We're moving out of that cycle of all the holiday food that was on offer. People tend to be a little bit more sedentary. There's more parties, there's more indulgences, and also kapha tends to accumulate at this time. And kapha accumulation presents itself as this. It presents itself as mucus buildup in the digestive tract. This is also, there's kind of a bluish tone to it. So that's low circulation. It happens to me every year. I've been trying to heal my malabsorption for a long, long time because I have a history of eating disorder. And I struggled with anorexia when I was younger. I've been in recovery now since the age of 23. So, gosh, that's 27 years. 27 years I've been in recovery. All right. But it did a lot of damage to my body and, in particular, to my digestion. So, it's been something I've been working really hard to reverse. And every winter, it happens every time. I end up with this. You see the little dents on the outside edges of the tongue? It's slight. It's not too bad. It's better than it's ever been, which is good. That is malabsorption, which means this is significant. So I encourage you, stick out your tongue, have a look at your tongue. Is your tongue covered with a white coating? If so, you're looking at, mucus accumulation in your gut. All right. That's something you want to be aware of. You want to get that mucus out. Why? If that mucus is sitting in your gut, it's going to dampen your agni, your digestive fire. All right. So you're not going to be able to get anything moving. Yes. Yeah, there's a big change. And I'm so glad that you're showing up, Queen Bee. You'd be amazed. I'm already got, like, you might hear some congestion coming out of me because I've already started things off for myself this morning. I'm going to give you methods for clearing all this out. But there's so much that you're going to experience over these 40 days. You will be amazed at what happens with that. So really, really glad. Yes. Yes, it absolutely does. Okay, the tongue is so important. The tongue is so important for showing what is going on internally. So I want you to get to know your tongue. I want you to get to know your face. All right. And that's why I want you to start with a picture, taking a picture of your face without any makeup, no filters, in daylight. All right. And just get a clear view of where you're at. Notice where you have puffiness in your face. I'll go into a bit of face mapping down the road. I'm not going to do that right now, but I just want you to have a general guideline. What I want you to look at today is getting that picture. And so you have it as your starting point, and it's not really about vanity, although I will tell you by the end of this, you all will have glowing skin. Your hair will be lustrous. You will have a radiance. I mean, it's definitely beautifying, but it's not really about that. What you're going to see is how much you've been able to affect, like, just your energy quality that you're running. All right, your energy quality that you're running. You'll see what I mean when you get there. I want you to see how much you've changed on all levels, the transformation. It's pretty striking. It's pretty striking. So let's start with the tongue. I really want you all to get to know your tongues this week, okay? So when we're looking at the tongue, you be aware of that. If you have those scallops, the outside edges of your tongue there, if they have the little teeth indentations, that means you have malabsorption. That means you could eat the healthiest diet in the world and it don't matter because you do not have enough digestive fire that will be able to actually break down and assimilate that nutrition you're getting in. So this is key. And I'll tell you, this is a major problem. Um, so many people struggle with malabsorption. So please be on the lookout for that. And do look, do I have any kind of coating on my tongue? So we already saw that I have kind of a whitish blue coating on my tongue. Low circulation, okay? That means I need to get my lymph moving. How do you get to the lymph moving? Exercise. And all of this is also broken down in the Kapha reset course that you all will have free access to. And I will announce it here. I'll announce it in the daily live. I'll also put up a post on the community. That's all, Queen Bee, that's all going to be inside the Kapha course. You showed up a little bit later, so for those who are just showing up now, I'm going to be opening up my Ayurvedic Kapha cleanse course that I have on my Cobra's medicine bag site. Okay. And it covers everything. It's going to tell you mind, body, spirit, everything you need to do. It's lined out for you week by week. It gives you instructions on everything. There's recipes. There's all kinds of exercises to do, meditative techniques. It's all based on Ayurveda. It was something I was charging for, but I'm moving away from my work as an Ayurvedic practitioner to focus on what I'm bringing here at BroadCoven. I got a directional reroute. I got a call to head in a different direction. I'm responding to it, but I want to pass on the Ayurveda to all of you. Okay, so this is just coming along with this process we're going to be going through. You have free access to that. I'll get that available near the end of the week, though. I don't have it ready yet because there's some things I need to switch around with it. So you're going to heal your digestion. You're going to learn how to clear out your gut of all that ama, get your digestive fire ignited. It's going to cover everything for you. And it's an excellent course and it's super effective. So I'm excited for you all to get to experience that. This week is going to be about just dropping in. So I want you to get an idea of what is going on with your physical body. We're going to start with the physical first, okay? So look at your tongue. Do you have a coating on your tongue? If you have like a white coating, that's ama, that's mucus in your gut, okay? If it's kind of bluish looking, that means that you have low circulation. You need to get your lymphatic system going. There's a lot of different ways to get your lymphatic system going. The way we're going to focus on this week is with starting to get some movement in. We're going to work with this Aries energy to start to get things moving physically. All right. That'll really anchor it in our day-to-day experience because in order to affect positive change in your life, we need energy. If you don't have energy, if you don't have vitality, nothing happens, right? And you just stay in this state of stagnancy. Also, movement is helpful physically because it helps to move the emotions because the lymphatic system and the emotions are intimately connected. So this will be just beneficial all around. If you have kind of a yellowish sort of coating on the tongue, that's like a buildup of yeast in the body. All right. So you want to be aware of that. That might mean you got a bit of a sweet tooth. You know, this all gives you information. If you notice you got that white coating on your tongue and you're got that kind of bluish color there, you're probably getting in a lot of mucus producing foods. And that's why you got that congestion in there. That combined with not enough movement. So do you see how just kind of getting to know your tongue, getting to know your body, it can kind of give you this, it can give you sort of an awareness of what kind of changes you need to make. Yeah, I'm feeling the Aries energy too. I'm enjoying like I actually woke up and I could like feel it stirring. It was sort of a trip. I felt a definite energy shift with this new moon. So I think it's the perfect time to bring this in. Yeah, if you feel you got like kind of a yellowy coating on your tongue, then you know you got an overgrowth of yeast. Maybe you're consuming too much sugar. All right, that's something you're going to want to like look at. Do not get ridiculous with it, okay? Because like people go overboard and they start avoiding fruits and all kinds of nonsense. You don't need that. I'm telling you, the key to health is digestion and getting your agni where it needs to be. You won't have a yeast overgrowth if you really get your agni, your digestive fire, where it needs to be, and you start properly digesting your foods. Digestion is the seed of health in Ayurveda. And since it's all mind, body, spirit integrated, this applies digesting thoughts, digesting emotions, digesting experiences, digesting trauma, not just digesting food. The body is sort of speaks of everything that's happening on all those different stratums of our being. So this is something we need to tune into, and this is something that we need to be aware of. If we're having digestive issues, oh, where am I like not digesting my experiences? Where am I still not dealing with certain emotions or trauma that I'm holding? Where do I need to start to bring some energy there? But the beautiful thing is, as you start to do it physically, it starts happening on all levels. It's all interconnected. And this will be more dialed in the course. All right. So when you hit me up next week after this weekend and you have access to that course that I'll make available to all of you, you're really going to be kind of like coming at me with all kinds of questions, because you're going to go through this whole process of clearing all this old energy out on every stratum of being. Today for me is just really just like a drop-in point for you all to give you an idea of what to expect, what's to come. I'm going to be doing also a circle tonight. I don't think I'm going to do that live. I'll probably do a pre-recorded, but I'm going to bring in some Reiki, and we're going to do a candle lighting to sort of set the intention for our journey. And you are welcome to get a candle to kind of keep your own vigil going. So I just want to get you sort of prepared for what this week is about for today. And I want you to begin with that tongue. If you got like kind of a brownish coating or gray, real gray kind of coating, that can often be like stuck stuff like old black, in the intestines that needs to be cleared out. So just start looking at these basic things right now with your tongue to get a general idea of what's going on with your physical body. Also, this week, I want you to pay attention to how you're feeling and just take some time every day. Maybe when you first get up in the morning and maybe at night, before you go to bed, just take a couple minutes to put your hands, maybe one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and close your eyes and just get in touch with how you're feeling. Notice any emotions you have coming up in you. Notice any discomfort you feel in your body. Notice any energies coming in or any thoughts that are kind of coming into your head when you create this little drop in space to just get in touch with your body and feel what you're feeling. All right. So getting a picture of your face so you know your starting point with that. Um, getting a look at your tongue. You might want to get a starting picture of your tongue too, because I'll tell you, you'll see such a dramatic difference between your starting point and ending point when you look at the tongue and gauge the tongue like that. This is a good place to start, just to kind of get a view of what's going on internally. Where do I need to focus my energy? And of course, there's all kinds of stuff that's associated with that. And these are the main areas I want you to look at right now. We'll go into further stuff with the tongue. All right. What I mainly want you to notice right now is, do you have any malabsorption on your tongue? Do you have teeth indentations on the outside of your tongue? Do you have a coating on your tongue? What color is that coating? Okay. Because all these other pieces that will get filled in when I open up the course for free to all of you at the end. I love it. I love it. You're on it, Queen Bee. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, look at it. I mean, and look at it every morning when you get up. This is important. You'll track it. You'll see as we start to go through this and you get access to that Ayurvedic Kapha cleanse course near the end of the week, you'll see the differences. You'll be able to track the differences. Now, another thing you can do this week just to get started is I encourage you to start to increase your hydration. This is going to be really important just to really get the hydration up. That's going to be very helpful, just getting prepared to move into the cleanse because the cleanse goes down in week 2 of the Kapha Reset course, and you'll be getting the access to that Kapha Reset course near the end of the first week, which is the introductory week, which you're all doing live with me here. Okay, so really, once you get access to that course, that introductory week is just going to give you some ideas of things that you sort of need to compile to make the cleanse easier for you. Get prepared to drop in for that. But right now, one thing that you can start to do is just increasing your hydration. And I highly recommend maybe doing some lemon water. I like to just, stick a bit of a lemon wedge in my water bottle, carry it with me, and start your day off with some lemon water just to get the detoxification process going with your digestive organs, right? So that's one thing we're going to do. So that's the physical aspects. I also encourage you to spend some time every day just moving your body a little bit this week. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic, especially if you haven't been exercising for a long time. This can be just starting to get things moving, even if it's just 10 minutes, a 10-minute walk, doing a little dancing in your living room. Even if you want to put on some like YouTube video and work out, whatever feels right to you, but tune into your body. This is not a diet, and I want to make that really clear. This is not a diet. The Ayurvedic Kapha Reset course that you all are going to have access to for free at the end of this week, it is based on intuitive eating, okay? There's no diet involved here. There's no restriction involved here. That's not what it's about. This is about you creating a lifestyle where you can really bring everything into balance, and you'll be guided in that. Okay, so move out of this sort of restrictive mindset or black and white terms like it's yes, it's no. No, we're about finding that center balancing point. Remember that high priestess came in reverse. Okay, so this is not about moving into places of polarization where this is good, that is bad, this is yes, that is no. It's about finding the center balancing point, okay? So lemon water, first thing in the morning, you may notice, as I'm already noticing, you might hear it in my voice. I like I said, I'm getting over about bronchitis. I got some old gunk to clear out of my system. I got some old ama in there to clear out. Once you start bringing in the lemon water in the morning, you will notice that you might have some ama start to clear out. You might start coughing up a little bit of mucus. If you do have a lot of that mucus in your digestive tract, just be prepared for that. You also might have to go pee more often. That's normal too. And this is good. So just bump up your water and get some lemon water in the morning, first thing in the morning. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I really want you guys to focus on in terms of the physical stuff for this week. Okay, just get in touch with your body. So what do we got? We got taking the first beginning picture of your face. All right, no filter, no makeup, out in the daylight. So you have your starting point photo. So you have something to compare it to by the time we get to the end of this 40-day journey. getting a picture of your tongue, your starting tongue, and tracking your tongue every day as you make these changes. You may notice these changes coming in even as you start making these little shifts. All right. So I want you to just get empowered with getting to know your body. All right. The other thing you're going to do is in the morning and at night, one hand on the heart, hand on the belly, close your eyes for a moment and just get in touch and notice how you're feeling today, you know? And also, when it comes to what you want to do today, what kind of exercise do I want today? What sounds good today? What is my body needing today? Is my body needing rest? Is my body needing some movement? What does that movement look like? So this is just starting to get in touch, really bringing the energy inward to feel what's going on in there. And yeah, drinking your water, getting your water up, getting your hydration up, and getting a little movement every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes, nothing structured. Get in touch with your body. What kind of movement does your body want? Go for that. And I do recommend that you start out your day with lemon water, okay? Because it's just going to help get the detoxification processes started. We're going to ease our energy into this. The other thing that we need to be aware of is now looking at how we can best set ourselves up for success as we move through this 40-day cycle. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of psychic clearing work, as well as opening the consciousness. We're going to be doing chakra balancing. We're going to be doing methods for clearing out any kind of like hitchhiker energy we may have taken on. We're doing a spiritual cleanse too. Okay, so we're bringing a lot of pieces in here. So it's really important that during this cycle, we set ourselves up for success. So another thing that we want to look at, because we notice we have to watch out for that sabotaging energy. One of the ways that we can really sabotage ourselves anytime that we're trying to make a transformation in our life is, first of all, by biting off more than we can chew, trying to go from point A to Z overnight. That doesn't work. What we're doing here is we are building brick by brick by brick a strong foundation of self-care, and not just self-care on the physical level, but mental, emotional, and spiritual levels as well. This is what is going to allow us to really step into a place of empowerment where we can manifest the kind of life we want to live. Again, if you're experiencing any kind of blockages in your life, they are related to blockages within the self. There's some kind of belief that's holding up the show, or there's some kind of story we're telling ourselves that it's keeping us stuck, or we're engaging in some kind of daily habits that are throwing us off base. Okay. So this is what I want you to look at this week. And every day that I drop in with you, I'm going through this with you. I'm putting myself through this process too. Okay. And I'll be very real and very honest. The people who have taken my courses with me know that, I'm right there with you. Okay. So we're journeying through this together. And I'm going to share my experience honestly with all of you. So I'll give you an example of that. I know that, through the holidays, as usual, it happens every year, I enjoy the sweets. I enjoy the richer fare that comes around. I also tend to go into hibernation mode, and it's been really cold, and I did come down with bronchitis and I got sick, and that sort of derailed me. So, I got a lot I need to clean up with just my habits. I got into a little bit of some late night eating, wasn't listening to my body, had a little stress I dealt with, and that disconnected me from my emotional experience. Got a little bit of the case of buckets, I call it. And I mean, it's part of life. We all go through these things. It's nothing that we need to get attached to, but it's time for me to pay attention to these things, pay attention to what I know isn't working for me. And that's what I want you all to focus on this week. Where does the work need to be done with the Three of Pentacles? Okay. So, first of all, look at your environment. Let's say your goal is let's just look at it, because it's something that a lot of people focus on at this time of year, especially because they know summer is just around the corner. So they get, kind of hung up on this. Let's say you got a little bit of that kapha accumulation going on. Maybe you're feeling a little bloated. Maybe you put on a few pounds. It's pretty natural. People usually fill out a little bit during the colder months. I mean, this is all part of nature, okay? And we're just, microcosm reflected, from macrocosm. So we're part of nature. We flow in these cycles too. Everything slows down and expresses these qualities. So it's no big deal. But this is about kind of looking at, okay, where do I need to change things at? Am I lazing around too much? Have I kind of like, taken to the couch too much? Do I need to get my body moving more? Let's say you're wanting to release some weight, release some heaviness, and that's your goal. You want to just feel more energy, you want to feel more vitality, and this is where you want to put your focus. This is about looking at your house. What's going on in the house? Does it support this desire to step into more self-care? Does it support me actually being able to take care of my body in this way? So just kind of have a look at your cupboards. What kind of food do you have in your cupboards right now? Do you have nourishing food on hand? Do you have food that actually makes you feel good? I'm not talking about food that just tastes good, but actually makes you feel good. And this might be another piece you kind of want to get in touch with this week is when you do eat your meals, when you're done with your meal, you know, take the time to just put your hand on your tummy, one hand on your heart, close your eyes again, and just see how it feels in your body. Does anybody ever really do that? We don't, right? We kind of just eat on the run. We're not conscious of what we're doing. We don't take the time to really consider, really think about how we nourish ourselves. So this is a good way to just start noticing, how does this food actually make me feel? Is it supporting me? Is it making me feel good? So that's a place to look. And then look, does the food you have in your cupboard support you feeling good, or is it supporting you in staying in a place where you feel run down, you feel like you have kind of low energy, you feel like you're bloated, or you're just kind of putting on weight. Okay, so that's something that you could look at. Let's say you have a goal to really launch some business enterprise. You have some project you want to launch, but everything in your environment is disorganized. Everything's kind of cluttered. You don't have some kind of working space, some kind of office space available for you where you can really center yourself and focus on this work without distraction. It's going to be very important to, get that dialed in this week. Okay. Let's say you want to start paying more attention to having time to like wind down and relax. Well, do you have a space set up in your home where you can create that for yourself? Do you have time penciled out where you can make that a possibility? Is there some things you need to reroute in your life so you can create more room for you? All right. So everybody's going to have a different goal, a different focus that they want to hone their vision on for these 40 days. And that's the other piece I want you to bring in this week. Get clear on what are these next 40 days about for you. Okay. Once you know what the next 40 days are about for you, what your goal is, then you will be able to know where the work needs to be done. Don't take on 50 million things. This is what trips people up all the time. Okay. People always go to this place of, biting off more than they can chew. And it's a subtle way we sabotage ourselves. Okay. Yeah, replay will remain up. So drop in whenever you want. Today's is a little bit longer than it's normally going to be because I just want to get everybody prepared. But thank you for dropping in. It was good to see you. So yeah, you want to make sure that you really have a look at what is one thing, okay? One thing where you're going to put all your focus, all your energy. It's going to be a single point of focus for you, okay? That's the goal, the end goal. By the end of these 40 days, I will have achieved this, all right? It's healthy to work with this. So we're a little bit of that pitta energy, especially with Aries taking the wheel, because Aries takes the initiative. So this is about kind of setting a goal for yourself. So Maybe for some of you, that's like, I want to shed some of this winter weight. That's my goal by the end of these 40 days. Okay, let that just be your one focus, your one goal. Because let's look at, I want to keep on that because this is why most people tend to cleanse, right? A lot of people tend to cleanse. They want to release some heaviness from their physical bodies. When you're doing this and you're moving through these 40 days, having that one single point focus, it's going to be your focus on every level. Okay, where do you need to shed the heaviness spiritually? Where do you need to shed the heaviness emotionally? Where do you need to shed the heaviness mentally? What are you dragging along with you that you need to lighten your load? It all is interrelated. Okay, so this is why it's going to be very important to have one focus. And it doesn't matter, even if you're picking a business project, like I want to see this business project to completion, or I want to launch my clothing line, or whatever your goal is. Okay, I want to sing in front of an audience for the first time. It can be anything, anything. But do make it something that's you're really passionate about, like you're fired up about it, like I really want to achieve this. This is something I want to invest my energy in. All right, pick one thing because everything else is going to come into play anyway. All right, but it's the focus that is so important for bringing this manifestation into being, and it's that one thing that means everything to you, that's going to keep you going through the challenging bits, because it is work. It is work. You're going to have stuff come up for you through this process. You're going to have your shadow stuff come up for you through this process. It's not always going to be a comfortable process. There's going to be times then you're going to want to throw in the towel. I'm just being straight with you, okay? I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to bullshit you about any of this. It's going to get real, but it's going to be good too. There's going to be both. There's the shadow and the light, and this is no different than anything else in life. Okay, so there's going to be obstacles you bump up against as we're working to open that road. All right, so this is about you just touching base, your starting point, by setting your goal. What do I want to achieve by the end of these 40 days? What does that look like? How would I feel to achieve that? How would my life be different? Okay. Then I want you to ask yourself, all right, does my current life, like my current setup, my home environment, how I'm spending my time socially, the way I'm working, does this support this goal? And if it doesn't, where do I need to change things? So in the example of somebody who wants to release weight, okay, and yet they know that they are really struggling with emotional eating, and they're really struggling with constantly, going after the sweets or grabbing that bag of chips and watching TV at night, whatever it may be. And your house is loaded with these kind of foods, you're kind of right out the gate, you're setting yourself up for failure. Now, this is intuitive eating, right? But it's Ayurvedic intuitive eating. So I do bring in some guidelines for how you can still keep those things in your life, but in a way that's supportive, that you're not going to encourage yourself to just go down those typical coping mechanism reality tunnels that you usually defer to. Okay, so I mean, an example of that is you can still have dessert, you know, you can have whatever you want. Intuitive eating, anything's on the menu. All right, you can still have dessert, but if you're not keeping a bunch of sweets in your house, and if you instead go out and treat yourself to dessert out, you have some time there to really think about what's compelling you to go for that dessert. Are you getting it because you really want it and it's just what your body wants at that time? It sounds good. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. But are you doing it as a way to cope with something that's coming up emotionally? Are you doing it as a way to cope with stress? That's different. Okay. This is about learning new ways to move through emotional challenges, mental challenges. That's just one example. if you do have a goal to launch your clothing line and yet you're not setting up some kind of space, time for you to really focus on that, if you're distracted and it's one of those things that I'm going to get to that someday, but you're not like making it happen because you're constantly having your energy diverted to other things that maybe aren't the wisest ways to spend your time and energy. Like maybe you're just killing a lot of time on social media. That would be an example. Then you know, okay, this is where the work needs to be done. I need to prioritize this in my life. I need to kind of get my schedule dialed in a bit. I need to start putting more energy where I really want to direct it so I can see growth toward manifesting my vision. All right. So this is another thing that you want to look at this week. And once you've set your vision, once you're clear on where you want to be at the end of these 40 days, I encourage you to set up some kind of visual reminder of your goal in your environment. All right. So that can be an altar. All right. For some of you. And an altar can be something as simple as a shelf. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. That maybe just has some images or some little knickknacks on it, you know, something that will inspire you and remind you of why you're taking this up and why you're heading in this direction. You know, this is all about the beginning point with the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so you're going to be learning new skills. You're going to be learning new ways to really move through your day, and you're learning. You're learning this week as you're moving through, and you're, you know, going through this week, and you're keeping your vision in mind, and you're being aware of your starting point. You're going to learn where do I need to do this work? Where do I need to kind of make sure I'm creating space to focus on what I need to focus on? And you do this by getting really centered on where do you need to block off time without distraction so you can really bring in what's needed. This is really about you coming into this place of being ready to let go of what's not serving you so you can start to align with where you're meant to go. So you can start to align with that vision that you're wanting to bring in. Okay. It first involves a kind of turning within and being aware of how we trip ourselves up on the way to getting there. Bottom of the deck energy. Look at this. There's all this peace coming in right here, right? You got the two of swords to the 7 of wands to the 4 swords. All right. This is about blocking off space and time so you can look at where do I need to do the work? What do I need to let go of that's preventing me from moving forward toward manifesting my visions? This is just the initial starting point of planting that seed and getting the education you need to head into that place of wish fulfillment, gratification, okay? Hitting that mark. You're going to have some towers, right? It's just part of it. You're going to have some towers, and towers always involve an exposure of what's false. All right. So a lot of this has to do with maybe things we've told ourselves, you know, stories we've told ourselves that keep us in that space of not moving forward in an empowered way. And this is about, you know, kind of calling ourselves to the mat a little bit and saying, well, you know, I'm complaining that I don't want to be heavy like this. And I've tried everything, you know, I want to drop this weight. And yet, you know, I got my cupboards loaded with Hostess and I'm choosing instead to sit on the couch and, you know, watch TV and feel sorry for myself, or I'm getting too distracted with social media. And yeah, maybe I'm not ready to pick up some really intense exercise program. And I don't recommend you do that either if that's your goal. You know, it's about really respecting where your body's at. Where are you at right now? And going forward from there and starting to affect the changes you need to make in your life to begin to turn things around. Same thing with, you know, okay, I want to launch my clothing line. We're just using these as examples. I don't know if there's somebody, you know, who's going to be listening to this that is launching a clothing line or wants to launch a clothing line, but you know, maybe it's coming in that way for a reason, but we're just going to stick with these two examples. Um, you know, it's about, is it really impossible for you to do that? Or is it just because you haven't taken the time to do the research and actually take your focus off of maybe what's not really important right now if you want to get to that goal, so you can start to divert your energy there, right? So it's about a redirect, top of the deck energy. It's about getting the energy moving, okay? So this is about very much that Aries energy, where it's not about just staying in your head with your ideas and, oh, someday I'll do this. It's not about just having the vision or complaining or feeling stuck and depressed about what isn't working in your life. It's like, what can I do though? What can I do right now to get this energy moving? And it doesn't matter how small it is. It's just about getting the energy moving and then being willing to let go of the false narrative that you've been feeding yourself, right? Letting that tower come down, realizing I have more power to affect change in my life than I give myself credit for. And it's not about beating up on yourself when you recognize these things either. It's not about being hard on yourself and saying, oh, I'm lazy. How could I be so stupid? I do this to myself all the time. I never get it right. No, it's not about that. Okay. This is empowering. This is about just telling yourself the truth and understanding what's behind, you know, what's behind the things that are sabotaging you. Why are you sabotaging yourself? That's a more interesting query than kind of being hard on yourself. There's a reason why you're engaging in these sabotaging behaviors, and that's what you want to understand. Get down to the root of it. What's behind that? What's deeper? That's when you'll be really exercising clear judgment in how you need to move forward. So, okay, let's say you've wanted to launch this clothing line, but you know, you've come up with these excuses of, well, I don't have, you know, the startup capital to do that, which by the way is not true. Anybody who is actually considering launching a clothing line, you can do that without having startup capital. You know, it's about doing your research. It's about exploring options. It's about challenging the stories you tell yourself and being willing to open up to the energy. Okay. This is about really, you know, not about judging yourself, but about exercising wise judgment from what you learn. And if you're afraid to move forward towards your goal, which we have to look at that. Okay. Anytime sabotage is coming in, it's because there's something inside of you that's scared. There's some kind of fear there. There's some kind of fear that's holding yourself back. So are you afraid maybe you might be successful? Is failure more comfortable? Is it easier to just stay in this space of not challenging the status quo? Because if you do challenge the status quo and, oh, what if I don't hit the mark and that means I failed? No, there's so much you learn through the process. And let me tell you, you know, there's no such thing as failure when it comes to success. Failure is a part of success. Sometimes we have to go about things the wrong way so we figure out what works. And you have to just be in it for the experience of it. So let your mind be blown. If fear of failure is holding you back, let your mind be blown. What if your failures are actually informative? What if your failures actually educate you about something that you weren't seeing before? And it's very important for you to have this piece of information so you can move forward in an empowering way and actually be successful. This is so necessary to have these moments. You have the strength to overcome whatever is holding you back right now from achieving your goals, your dreams, your visions. You have the ability to step into whatever reality you want to create for yourself. It's about rising above these narratives that have their roots in the past, maybe times in the past when you felt like you took a blow to your confidence. And I feel like a lot of this does have to do with getting the confidence back for the collective. You know, when you've spent a lot of time kind of having the rug pulled out from under you. And we all dealt with that last year with the Uranus square action that was going on. That was very intense. We had a lot of destabilizing experiences. And when you have a destabilizing experience, it's going to throw you off. It's going to throw you off track, right? It's going to make you feel like you're not really fully in your element. Sometimes, again, I have to tell you, sometimes we get destabilized so we can find a new sense of footing. Maybe we're meant to move forward in a new way. Maybe the path we were on was not where we were supposed to be going, and we needed a directional reroute. Things get shaken up for a reason. The towers come in for a reason. They do come in to break up the status quo because we're meant to open up something more. Strength shows that the collective has everything they need to overcome their challenges. A lot of it is more related to a sense of just not having the confidence, right? So how do you gain confidence? You only gain confidence one way, and that's through challenging those false narratives. It's through taking the risk to fail. It's to sometimes have a failure and realize it's not the end of the world. And there's actually something I got out of this experience that I can use to empower me in moving forward. So this is about being willing to do the work and being willing to look at the tough stuff, being willing to look in that belly of the beast. Okay, you see the Empress there. She's opening the lion's jaws. She's like, come on, man, up and out with it. We don't need to hold on to this shit anymore. It's time to really recognize our strength. It's time to have a little courage. It's time to put ourselves out there. Aries is a very bold, daring sign. All right, we're all moving into this Aries energy. So let's pop it off right. Okay, we don't need to stay in these spaces. This is what gets the energy to come in. So many of you have been looking out toward the horizon. You've been waiting for your ships to come in, not recognizing that you don't even have a port for them to come into. You're not ready to receive. You're not ready to receive. You're still holding on to all this past stuff. You're still holding on to all the old stories. You're still holding on to all the old ways of seeing yourself. You're still looking at reality through the filter of the past. You're not looking at things as they are right now in this moment and your ability to act and affect change. The minute that you recognize, I have the strength to overcome what's holding me back, and it involves me letting go of this past stuff, this past baggage, this old hurt, these old disappointments, those times I didn't hit the mark, the times that gave a knock to my confidence, whatever it may be, the times I tried before and I wasn't able to do it. Okay, that was then. This is now. All right, this is about letting go of trying to carry this load with you that you've been dragging along with you for too long. We're meant to wrap up this old cycle. This is like karmic cleanup, right? We're heading toward the tail end of it. July, that's the balancing point. You're gonna have Libra in that south node. Did we complete our karmic work? Did we close up this cycle? Are we ready to start moving into that Aries north node at that point? That Aries point of activation, when we really can be the magician, when we really can manifest our vision, when we really can step into the life we're ready to live. All right. In order to be able to rise up into that, you have to let the old shit go. This is the tarot version of let that shit go. As long as you're holding on to the old stuff, your old stories, your false narratives, all this stuff it's being brought down. It's being brought down with that tower energy. It has to. It has to. The old structure, the old way of living, the old way of doing things, the old way of seeing things, all of it, it needs to crumble because we're meant to move forward in a brand new way. In a brand new way. And as long as we're clogging the channels with all the old energy, all the old thoughts, all the old emotional stuff, all the old trauma that we're nursing and we're holding on to it and tending it because oh what a sweet shade of suffering that is. There's no port for the ships to come in. So we're doing this clearing work so we can actually receive the blessings that we've been longing for, that infusion of new life energy. So this is about clearing space, making the room for that all to come in for us, all right? Page of Wands energy, okay? This is just the initial starting point. Just the initial starting point, the introduction of working with that fire energy. Fire requires action. Fire works through the channel of action, right? And that's why next week, when we start actually really working with the cleansing in that Kapha course that you're all going to have free access to, and I'll be opening up for you all on Cobra's Medicine Bag later this week. Close to the weekend, I'll have it available and I'll make an announcement for those of you who just arrived in the room. This is going to be, just the beginning of initiating this energy. And that's why we focus on the digestion first. It's igniting the Agni. The Agni is your internal fire. It's your digestive fire. Yes. Okay. It helps you digest your food, but it also helps you digest your experiences, digest your emotions, digest your karma. You can even look at it that way. Okay. So this is just the initial point, starting to get that fire going, starting to call that Agni forward. And there's some choices you need to make at this point. Okay. There's some choices. And the choices revolve around, are you going to continue to nurse the old way and stay stuck in the old patterns of behavior and tell yourself the same old story? Are you going to cling to it? Are you going to be willing to try something new? Here's that temperance angel here. Find the balancing point, okay? Find the balancing point. And where is the balancing point between the old and the new? The balancing point is in the present. It's right here in this moment. And it's always changing, always changing. So the more that you can bring your energy present this week and just kind of have a look at your experience, I want you to be very observant. I want you to have a curiosity this week, okay? No judgment, no judgment. Stay out of that crap. This is not about beating yourself up, putting yourself down, and reinforcing these old mental states that have held you back from moving forward in an empowering way. This is just about you delivering yourself some truth very honestly, very objectively, and with curiosity about what it tells you in regard to the work that needs to be done. And it's going to look different for each and every one of you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying here? 10 of Wands. You're lugging all this stuff around. It's too heavy. You got to drop it. You got to drop it. This is the biggest thing that is in the way of the collective right now, as far as moving into expansion and creating change, affecting change, is we're all still holding on to shit we don't need to hold on to. And we gotta make a choice. Are we gonna continue to stay stuck in the past and just complain about it and be in this state of victim mentality? Or are we going to actually use this as an opportunity to affect change in our life by being present and maybe looking at some uncomfortable stuff, maybe being honest with ourselves? Like, well, yeah, I haven't launched my business yet because, well, I've been, kind of feeling sorry about losing my job and the fact that I've been struggling financially. And that's made me kind of turn to some unhealthy coping mechanisms. And I haven't been doing a whole lot of anything. I've been telling myself, well, I don't have the money to start my own business. When really, is that true? Is it? It's not. You could be researching, you know, ways that you can start to get things going, you know. You could be maybe exploring starting some kind of workshop online, you know, on Facebook. You could start a Facebook group. You could start a little workshop within a Facebook group. You could do that without any money. How do I know? That's what I did. That's what I did. Okay. There's always a way around something, but you have to be a forward thinker. You can't be sitting stuck looking back at the disappointments of the past or the ways you've been held down or how something didn't work out for you the way you wanted or I had the rug pulled out from under me. I get it. Okay. Initially, yes, when you go through something that sort of rocks you to your core, you need to take a moment, you know, to get a little acclimated. But there's a point in sort of getting yourself collected. And then there's the point when it diverges into stagnancy and staying stuck. And that's not going to help anybody. So this is about looking at where can you let some stuff go? Because right now you're overburdened. Where can you drop some stuff? Mentally, the best way to drop some stuff is to bring your energy to the present. Stop looking back at the past. Okay. Stop looking back at what happened. It doesn't matter. It's done. You can't do anything about it back there. Where can you do something about it? Right here in this moment. Okay. So if you find yourself repeatedly thinking back to the past or back to something that happened and you start getting all embroiled in your emotions, because Lord knows we've all been through it with the Scorpio South Node. We've all been like kind of sifting through the shadow and dealing with this. This is about you going, hey, back here, back here. What's going on right now? What can I do right now? What can I do right now to move this energy? So let's say you were focusing on, you know, somebody really upset you in the past, and now you feel all stirred up and angry. Only you're holding on to this anger. The experience is gone. That person's not there. All you're doing is punishing yourself. Okay, I got this anger in my body. What am I going to do with this? Come into the present. What can I do with this? How can I move this energy? One of the best things for moving anger out of the body, which is considered pressurized fire, okay, is to move, physically move, all right? So you'll notice this is we're going to do that this week, right? We're going to get in a little daily movement, even if it's just 10 minutes, even if it's just a walk, even if it's just you dancing around your living room in your underwear. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. Touch base with your body in the present moment. Get its feedback about what kind of movement it wants that day and just give yourself some movement every day this week. We're going to get the energy moving. Okay. So if you bump up against anger, that'd be a great time for you to get some movement in, you know, drop in with your body. Okay, what kind of movement do we want to move this out? Maybe you want to do some shadow boxing. Maybe you want to do some kickboxing. Maybe you want to go for a run. Okay, moving the energy will make a difference. And I'm telling you all this right now because the reality is, with just the little bit that I've already recommended you start to focus on, getting your lemon water in the morning, setting a goal for yourself, getting your environment set up so it will support you in moving forward. Okay, getting everything dialed in and getting an honest assessment of where you're at. Okay, and when you are moving your body, this piece is really key. When you are moving your body, let's say you're just like, I'm just going to stick with 10 minutes because that's where I'm at. I can't do more. You can do more if you want to do more, right? It's about listening to your body. When moving your body, I want you to pay attention to, okay, how's it feeling, right? Are you finding yourself winded? Are you finding that your heart rate is really activated, even if you're not moving that much or not for that long of a duration? Are you feeling really tired? Are you doing exercise that you're not enjoying? This is key. I highly recommend you don't do exercise that you're not enjoying, especially at this stage. Now, naturally, you know, some people that are really wanting to like get in shape, if that's, you know, your goal, you want to put on muscle and stuff. Sometimes, you know, you may lift some weights and you're doing something because it's beneficial for your body, it's beneficial for your muscle mass. Maybe it's not the most fun. Okay, I get that. All right. It's sort of like taking a daily vitamin or something along those lines, right? I'm not talking about that for this week, though. This week, I want you to just move in a way that your body calls you to move and that sounds pleasurable and that it's something you actually enjoy. We need to move out of some of this really kind of heavy energy that we've all been in with that 10 of Wands. So when you're getting that daily movement this week, minimum 10 minutes, you can go longer, all right? But I want you to like break a sweat. Whatever you're doing, get a little bit of a sweat going, okay? It's good. It's detoxifying. This is all to set you up for really doing the deep detox that we'll be moving into next week. And I noticed there's new people coming in, so I'm repeating myself sometimes, but I'm just mentioning it again. I'm going to give you all free access to my Kapha Reset course, and it will lay out everything for you in terms of the cleanse. Everything, everything. It is so thorough. It is so thorough. I'm really proud of it. It is an excellent course, and it's going to give you all everything you need to be totally empowered in your health. Totally empowered in your health. All right. So that's taken care of you for you. You don't need to worry about that. You'll have all that information you need. And when we kick that off, you'll be able to come on these lives with me and ask me specific questions, you know, which I'm anticipating because it usually comes up when people go through the process. But this is about this week. This is about you just dropping in. Okay. I want you to just drop in with your experience and with your body this week. I want you to drop in and get in touch with how are you feeling? Where are you at emotionally? Where are you at mentally? What is not working for you in your life? How are you sabotaging yourself? What habits are you engaging in on a regular basis that are keeping you stuck? Where's your enthusiasm level at? This is really important. Are you feeling enthusiastic, or are things kind of a drudgery? I think for most of you, it's a drudgery with this 10 of Wands. All right. So this is about getting into a place of enthusiasm and getting the energy moving and looking at the things that, you know, you do have control over. You do have control over your schedule, how you set it up. You do. Okay. I don't care how busy you are, because I know what it means to be very busy. You do have control over your schedule. You do have ability to block out time every day for you to rest, renew, give back to yourself, focus on yourself, drop in with your spirit, connect with your soul. You do. It's about making it a priority. It's about choosing how you want to invest your energy. Remember, we're heading into that Taurus North Node. Taurus North Node is about what you value. Okay? It's about valuing yourself. I don't care how many responsibilities you have. And apparently, Collective has a lot. All right? You cannot be effective. You cannot benefit anybody if you are worn out, depleted, burnt out, and taking on too much. You just can't. So this week is really about dropping in. It's just, okay, we're introducing this energy. We're starting to explore where we're at. We're recognizing where we're sabotaging ourselves, where it's not working, where we keep kind of doing the same old thing and maybe engaging in some coping mechanisms that are keeping us from really closing up those karmic cycles because we're not willing to look at where we still have old grief that we need to release, which, by the way, that will be covered in the Kapha course too. Okay, so you're going to have tools for moving through all of this. Where am I, holding on to things that are holding me back? Where am I investing my time and my energy? Is there time and energy that I can free up by dropping some of these things that are not my responsibility to carry? Am I overextending myself? Am I spreading myself too thin? Am I saying yes to social engagements or assisting somebody, whatever it may be, when I really want to say no? And I want you to align this week more with what makes you feel enthusiastic. If you could drop all of this, all right, and you could have things be the way you wanted them to be, what does that look like? And how, on whatever level, even if it's the smallest little shifts you create, in your environment this week and with your choices about how you invest your time and your energy, how can you set yourself up for that reality to come into being? Because you want to align with your yes, like what gets you excited. Stop investing energy and time and focus this, in this. And I'm not being unrealistic here. I understand we all have responsibilities. We all have things we have to do to, make it from day to day, to keep food on the table, whatever it may be. Some of those things might not be the most fun. We might not feel enthusiastic about all of those things. Can we eventually move even those things, like how we earn our livings and just the daily structure of our day-to-day experiences? Can we move those things into a place that we can feel enthusiastic about? Oh yeah, we can, absolutely. It takes a lot of time. It takes challenging the status quo, and that doesn't happen overnight. So we're in a 40-day process of really exploring this, changing habits, and doing this sort of clearing out, aligning, and activating of our purpose. What new cycle are we being called to step into now? And we're all being called to start a new chapter. We all are. It's not just some of us, it's all of us. So this is about you being really empowered in that. I encourage you to look at your schedule this week. Where can you free up time? Where can you free up time for self-care? All right. Self-care, focus on, self-reflection, focus on restoring yourself, relaxing, whatever it may be. You time just for you. It's okay. Okay. Bring forward a little bit of that energy, what some people may call selfish. Some of you may have a really hard time with this. Those of you who are more in the kind of codependent mindset, who are used to being, that person who shows up for everybody, the one who takes on the load because you think that somehow makes you indispensable. If you do all this for everybody, then I'm indispensable and they won't abandon me. I'm just giving you an idea of how this kind of stuff can play out. That's how deep we go with a process like this. Nothing is superficial. It all matters. It all means something. So I want you to really focus this week as part of your setting up your environment for success. You're going to need to figure out, where can I create space for me? It's just for me. And during that time, I get to focus on whatever I want, even if it's just taking a nap. Okay. Even if it's just laying on a patch of grass and staring up at the clouds and doing nothing. It's your time. And it will be dictated by what feels right for you, where you feel that enthusiasm, like, yeah, that would hit the spot. That's what I want to do. Right. So I encourage you to figure out where you can set up a pocket of time to start your day and where you can set up a pocket of time to close your day. And if at first this seems overwhelming, like, I have no time, how am I going to do this? And that starts to send you into overwhelm because you're already so overextended and overwhelmed. I will tell you right now, you can set aside 10 minutes for you in the morning and in the evening. You absolutely can. And if you can't, there's some stuff you seriously need to drop and question about what you're investing in, because you're giving from a place of depletion. And if you're giving from a place of depletion, whether that's the way you're working, taking on all kinds of extra hours, spreading yourself too thin, saying yes to, every kind of collaboration somebody wants to bring your way, saying yes to every social arrangement, saying yes to every person who needs your help. If you're doing that, then you're not contributing anything worthwhile with that energy. You're not helping anyone, and you're certainly not helping yourself, because you're operating from a place of deficiency and you're operating from a place of resentment. And when you're in a place of deficiency and resentment, are you able to receive? You can't receive anything. Your port's closed. The ships can't come in. And we need to open to a place of receiving. So it begins by you allowing yourself to receive this time, to focus on what you need to focus on to restore yourself. So you can give yourself at least 10 minutes start of the day and at the end of the day. And we also have to look at beyond self-care, your vision. What is that vision you want to bring in, right? You're focusing on one thing, only one vision to hit the mark, something that would really change your life. You would feel very fulfilled. You feel enthusiastic about this thing. Okay. You're also going to need to find time to focus on that. Okay. Even if it's just 10 minutes, even if it's just 10 minutes to brainstorm, even if it's just 10 minutes to do a little research, even if it's just 10 minutes to make an important call, set up a meeting, whatever it may be, whatever your goal is, right? So these three things, three spaces of at least 10 minutes. So now we got 40 minutes you need to dedicate this week daily, all right? 10 minutes for self-care in the morning, 10 minutes for self-care in the evening, 10 minutes to focus on your goal, all right, and taking steps towards your goal, where you want to be at the end of 40 days, and 10 minutes to move your body every day, all right? That's your focus. And just looking at your environment, seeing how you can better set yourself up for success and what you need to move forward in an empowered way, and, getting things situated so that you're really ready to step into next week. Right? I'm going to be dropping in with you all every single day, Tuesday through Saturday. I take Sundays and Mondays off. Those aren't me days. All right. So that's time I've set aside for me. All right. So you can look at it that way, too. It can be a whole day you devote to yourself if you want, it's up to you. I want you to listen to your intuition. I want you to look at your life, what works best for you. But I'll be going live every day. And I don't know what I'm bringing in on lives. I'm on this journey with you, okay? We'll be pulling out the tarot every day. It'll help inform us. It'll help guide us about what we need to bring in. This is an organic experience. We're all going through it together. I'll share my experience with all of you too. I encourage you to share it as well. Bring it in on the comments. If you catch the replay and you have to leave your comments on the replay, that's fine. You can bring your comments in on the live in real time. I want us to be able to share the experience with each other. I'll share my process. I've always been about that, we're all learning, we're all growing, and we're all healing together. I don't like things where people are kind of like put themselves in the position of like, I've got all the answers, I'm above it all. No, man. I'm in the trenches and I got my own healing work to do. I got my own habits to shift. I got my own goals I'm wanting to hit. I have my own ways I sabotage myself. And I promise to share that with all of you transparently. But I can't tell you what I'll be bringing in every day, because this kind of like panchakarma type experience is a very energetic experience. You just flow with the energy of the day. So I'm on this ride with you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. But the thing is we need to move out of this, okay? We've been here too long with this Nine of Swords, staying in this place, worrying about what's in store for the future. I think a lot of people feel this, right? They just feel like they're moving in the dark, and they feel overwhelmed, overburdened. They have a lot of anxiety. Things have been heavy. We've all collectively been through it. We've been going through a lot over the past few years. We've been, really run through the gauntlet, and we're getting to the other side, But it involves us taking action, okay? Taking up that Ace of Wands and taking action. We got that Magician that symbolizes Aries, holding that wand, directing, action toward bringing the visions into being. And that's what you're being asked to do now with this new moon. And new moon is such a great place to start, and no better new moon than Aries new moon. We got all the energies here to support us in this, all right? So this is a great time to move forward with this. I want to get a cut of the deck energy here. Look at that. 10 of Cups. Fulfillment, right? Fulfillment. Creating that life we want to live. Living from a place of fulfillment, All right. It all starts here. But first, it involves us walking away from what isn't serving us, from what isn't fulfilling us. We have to close the old cycle. There's no way around it. Okay. There's just no way around it. It's what we need to do. So, just a real recap, okay, because I know I covered a lot here. I've been going almost 2 hours, but I'm going to wrap up here. I will have a healing session coming later on tonight. We'll do a candle lighting to sort of set the intention. So if you want to get a candle in the meantime, you can bring that in. I'm going to do a pre-record on that. Lives are, they're a lot of energy. They take a lot of energy. So I'm going to stick with the one live in the morning as it goes. From this point, at least, I don't know, that may change down the road. Everything is open to exploration and revision. But it will have some energy to support you all jumping into this cycle we're entering together in these next 40 days. So you can tune in for that. And might be a little bit more information there for you. I'll see what kind of percolates as I move through the day. But recap of what you're doing this week. You're dropping in. You're doing kind of a systems check. You're being honest with yourself about how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You're looking at what the obstacles are, what the blocks are, and what your stories are about those. And you're getting behind the story and you're asking yourself, what is the core thing that's holding you back? Usually it's fear. Most of the time it's fear. And understanding, where is that fear coming from? Okay. Then you're taking steps to set up your environment, which involves your schedule, how you're investing your time and energy, who you're spending it with, okay, as well as your home environment, okay? How is your home environment set up? Does it support self-care? Does it support you really showing up for yourself? Does it support your rest, your calm, your rejuvenation? You want to look at this? You're also going to get a starting picture of your face, no filter, okay? No makeup, the real deal. Here's mine for all of you to see. This is where I'm at starting out, okay? As well as your tongue, all right? Note what's going on with the tongue. If you want more information about that, if you're just showing up now, you'll have to go back to the beginning because I went into it with a bit of length. I want you all to get to know what's actually going on internally in your physical bodies, and I teach you how you can do that at the beginning of this video, okay? And then get moving, all right? Some exercise, 10 minutes every day, all right? 10 minutes of self-care in the morning, whatever feels right to you. And when I'm saying self-care at this point for this week, it's whatever you want to do, okay? Whatever you want to do. So if you want to sit down and daydream for 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, that's fine. Okay. Or if you want to tune in for an ASMR video on YouTube and just chill out and receive in that way, that's cool too. If you want to take a nap, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. All right. Or you can do something like, give yourself a salt scrub or, anything along those lines. Whatever feels right to you. And then, getting in some exercise, moving the body 10 minutes. Again, whatever feels right to you. No judgment about it. And noticing how your body's feeling when you're exercising, like where are you physically at? And also being aware that there's emotions that are going to start to come up in you as you exercise, as you get things moving, because your lymph is stimulated and your lymph is intimately connected with your emotions. So if you've been one of those people that you're like, oh gosh, if I could just get a good cry, and you felt like you haven't been able to cry, once you start getting in some daily movement, you start to get your lymph moving with exercise, you're going to have that daily cry. You'll also have a lot of other emotions coming up. So just be prepared for this, okay? This is about you doing a systems check, seeing where you're at, and getting your environment set up for success. So we're starting out really, really simple this week. And then probably on Saturday morning, I think, I will be opening up on Cobra's medicine bag, and I'll give you all the information on where to find it, how to access it, all of that, to the Kapha Reset course. And this is a cleanse. It's a physical cleanse. It's also a cleanse, mind, body, spirit, all based on Ayurveda that will really support you. And it's completely free and no strings attached. I'm not selling you anything, nothing. It's just a seva. It's something I'm giving to all of you to help support you in this process. All right. Let's see here. Anything else? Yeah, let's move out of this place of lack. Let's come in from out of the cold, okay? Because it's time to really come into this space of arrival and alignment. It's time to uh, give yourself some flowers, okay, for showing up here. And you might actually want to give yourself some flowers. This is kind of Panchakarma style. So in Panchakarma, it is very common that we will set up an altar, to kind of symbolize our journey. And I do encourage you to set up, like, you can do a vision board, or you can have a little shelf, or you can have an actual altar where you put some symbols of your vision and what you're bringing in and this process for you. It's going to actually vary. I probably this time, most of the time, it's my goal to kind of come on around noon Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That might not be the case every day. Some days it might be earlier, and some days it might be later. And I say that because I work with private clients, so, with readings and stuff. So it just depends on what my schedule is. But I promise you, I will always show up, and there will at least be a little bit of a heads up. And the replays will always remain up where you can ask questions. Okay, so I'll try to give as much advance notice as I can, and that'll be one thing I do to set up my environment for success this week. Is I'm going to look at my schedule this week, and I'll try to get those live scheduled out for you guys, so you can also look at your schedule too and see how you can make things fit. All right, so we'll work on that together. But let's come into that alignment energy. That Four of Wands energy is really beautiful, to come into this place of arrival. But you set up yourself like a little altar, a little shelf, you might want to bring yourself some flowers. Well, we traditionally do that, maybe that's a nice assignment, a nice assignment for week one for you all. Go get yourself some flowers, okay? Go get yourself some flowers. Appreciate yourself for being willing to, focus on this and do this work, and just give to yourself in that way, just to acknowledge what it takes, to show up and be present like this, and to participate in an experience like this, and give yourself that acknowledgement. I think it's really important. But we're moving out of that time of lack, and we're going to move into that spirit of celebration, and lots of good stuff coming down the pike. And yeah, just stay tuned. You'll see the schedule coming out for the lives. I'll try to get it as dialed in as I can for this week. But I think most days it's going to be noon Eastern Standard Time and 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay. All right. I think that is really it for right now. And thank you so much to those of you who came and dropped in and shared your thoughts. And I look forward to sharing this experience with you. And yeah, look out for that video later tonight, where I have the Reiki and the intention setting, and that'll just be another layer to get us all, on the same track, moving forward, and also to bring our energies together in a really empowering way. So until then, take care.